part of the structure. So quantities is a byproduct of BIM. We don't have to make any special effort to extract quantities. When we are building the model, we assign material to the models and we can extract quantities. So this is a composite example showing you there is a structural column, a wall, brickwork, cladding, even waterproofing. And we can get quantity for each item out of that, or we can get a consolidated quantity of all the brickwork in my 20 floors. So because the model is built like that, it's very automatic. It's literally no effort quantification. Similarly with rebar, if we build a model for the rebar, we can extract the quantity of what is the bar length for that dia bar. And if we want that I have 8 mm dia, give me all the 8 mm dia bars in my entire building. And you can get lengthwise, you can get ton-wise, anything that you want. Again, no effort quantification essentially. Another no effort part of BIM is 2D. Because the model is built, 2D extraction is pretty straightforward. This for an architect we'd worked on for a Marks and Spencer. And here their goal was to generate a set of GFCs. So the images on the right are the actual store. The image on the left is from the model. Because it's an interior, the level of detail is very high in this. And based on this, then we extracted 2D drawings. So having a 3D view in a 2D drawing, imagine this goes on site. There's tremendous benefit for people who are executing at site. They can read drawings, definitely, but having a view there, even if we don't have access to a model, it just makes life easier for them. Maybe in a stair, even when you go to the minor details of a toilet and things like that. So there is benefit of visually integrating the model in the 3D sheet also. So these were all examples of what you can do once a 3D model is ready. But now beyond 3D, what do you mean by 4D? So essentially 4D I said was time. On a project that we did, these are 3 islands on which we did work. It was just road and all the utilities. So the image on the left is from what you see above the road. The image on the right is what you see below the road. So it's a complex web of services, water, drainage, irrigation, electrical, and all these together means a lot of coordination has to be done, a lot of planning when you're even executing it, when you're building. And 4D essentially lets you sequence how you're going to it helps you visualize your planning. Here you can see there are some activities which are on time, some activities which are delayed, and some activities that are really early on. So I think having this kind of visualization available is going to benefit the entire project, especially the project managers who are monitoring it, because you can extract reports like these from the model that tells you that I was supposed to complete so much, but now I've only completed this much. So I am delayed. Some activities can be advanced. The next dimension is 5D, which is cost. So imagine you have the quantities that come out from the model. This is example I'm talking about is from Nagpur and Delhi Metro. We've been working for a while on these projects. So we have the quantity coming from the model. We have the time which is linked to the model. Based on that, we can do what is my cost. Now, there is one curve that tells you what is the planned progress and what was the cost for it month on month. The second curve tells you what is the actual. And then based on the actual, you can do predictive also. That if I continue on this path, how much is my cost outflow per month that I need to budget for? So cost is the 5th dimension. 6th dimension is different aspects of sustainability. I know a lot of sustainable consultants here, so please forgive me if I talk something wrong. I'm only talking from a BIM point of view, not from a sustainability knowledge. So steel plant, and with the carbon emission regulations that are coming in place, what we did for them was, after building the model, help them calculate what is their carbon footprint. So because the model again has material that is part of its properties, we can extract that and see what is its embodied carbon, what is the operational by deciding what location that unit is in. So if you see this table at the bottom, it tells you what is the material. If we change the interior doors to some other type of door, the moment you change the door, it's going to change your carbon footprint for embodied carbon based on that. Yes, we can do this through calculation through multiple other tools, but because the model is available, utilizing it in all these areas is a big advantage that we need to look at. The next dimension is seventh, which is facilities management. Again, a hospital that was operational that we did work on. Their goal was in 7 minutes, they wanted a service request fulfilled. And for that, we built a model for them. Again, you can see image. This is a patient room. The image on the left is from the model. You'll even see a garbage bin. The garbage is there because it's a facility that they have to maintain. Same with the nurse station, the flooring pattern, that is also part of the model. So essentially what you have to understand is that there are different aspects that are part of the model. Assets is what we would call them. There's equipment, point assets, and then there is linear assets. And all of these together help us maintain a building. So what we did is that, just as an example here, there is a grill in room number 500 that needs to be replaced. The moment you select that grill, it will tell you that the supply is coming from this AHU. Now, if you turn that AHU off, which are the different areas that get affected? This visual representation helps you meet that goal of servicing in 7 minutes. So the model is not directly related to how you maintain your facility, but it is visually helping you maintain your facility. And this is where that information part of the model comes in very handy. Now, beyond all this 7D, what's coming up in the future? If we look at existing buildings and renovations, scan to BIM is the next big thing that's coming up. So you can literally laser scan an entire existing structure. You'll see it's very pixelized, this image, because everything is a point. It is a geolocated point with XYZ dimension to it. Based on that, you can build a model. Based on that, you can say, okay, now I'm renovating, I want to add this on top of it. And using existing, you can coordinate what is the new part happening. And there's a lot of work that's happening in this area. Digital cities are getting created now because you can scan and have a digital repository of the entire city with you. 3D printing, I think Raji mentioned in the introduction, and we had a session on 3D printing, so I'm not going to touch more on it. But essentially, it's a printer that lets you print walls like you see in this picture, and then you can build homes with it. So any home that you want to build as a track home, which has got multiple, like a community of 1,000 homes, this is a very good option. And I think when Ankita spoke, she mentioned in 3 days, they've been able to build a 3D printer home. So it's very, very fast. Amongst the last few things I'm going to talk about, digital twins. Because we now have a model, we can use that model to have a much more sustainable physical structure. So in our physical structure, say we have a room which has 100 people seating capacity and we have air conditioning there. From 100 people, when 50 people drop, all of us start feeling cold. So if these air conditioning units have sensors, they can capture this data, relay it back to the digital model. And then that model does a simulation, sends information back to the physical air conditioner, and the temperature changes. So this is what a digital twin is, using a physical asset and a digital asset to better manage your physical asset. There's different definitions of digital twin, but the ultimate definition is predictive use of a combination of both the assets. Last thing is using BIM for DFM. DFM is designed for manufacturing. So you can have different parts that are built into the model, send it directly to a manufacturer. They'll manufacture it, and you can get a home in a box. There's a lot of people who are working on this concept now. And this is where the future is going to be. Very briefly, who is we are? So we are a 20-year-old company based out of Aurangabad. And yeah, Aurangabad is a small town, but we are doing work for 20 years from there. We have a team of 90 people currently, and we work across different sectors that we've been working. One of the reasons that we are successful and have been working for so long is because we believe in innovation. We have a lot of reliable work that we are doing, so have a lot of clients who come back to us. And then we encourage excellence within our team. Some of the clients that we worked with before across the globes, there's a lot more, but we cannot share names of everybody. So these are just some of them. So thank you. I don't know if I've exceeded my time, went too fast, too slow, and look
It was
forward
all,
to
it was
more
perfect.
questions.
Yeah, don't worry. All good.
Yeah.
You,
So
Amita?
Sonali, it was, I know it was a session. I guess people must have started thinking, okay, BIM is something even beyond what the models talk about. So thank you for this. But there are a few queries which have come up. The first one being that you talked about, BIM saving cost of rework, but that is for the developers. Many of the consultants have a question that can it save cost for us, like on resources or by doing a faster turnaround, something of that sort. So what is your take on it?
So I think it is definitely going to save on cost for you. But if you think ki, I use it on one project and I'm going to save cost, no, you have to use it across a lot of projects because there is an investment cost. There is a cost for the software. There is a cost for the hardware. Your resource cost might go up, but marginally. But like I mentioned, BOQs come out default. 2D is coming out default. So you're saving the number of people that you're going to need to generate that. You change the model, all these things are automatically changes. You don't have to follow through on the change. So yes, setup cost is there. That's why you need to look at it long term.
So the next question, just it's continuation of what you talked about, the setup cost. So there is a huge subscription cost. So will it first question is that will it be able to replace the 2D market? And what is going forward? What should we look forward to?
So if you see what's coming in the future, I didn't even talk about AI today. Now you have AI tools which you give them prompts just like ChatGPT and it generates the whole model for you. So AI will take over significant amount of design work. It's not going to replace for sure. In that scenario, we don't need 2D. I know there are a lot of architects and consultants who are using 3D. They design in 3D. They have paperless offices. They send tabs to the site and the whole drawing is a PDF on a tab which is used. So coming out of the model. Software companies are also moving away from the model where they want to not sell only 2D. They are just selling everything bundled together. So we have to move ahead. I think it is a mindset shift that we need to do.
But then how do we handle this high subscription cost? So anything happening with the government or with the multiple agencies who are working in India?
So we are trying. The other NGO that I work with, CDCP, we are an NGO that's working on digital construction. And we were trying to get the government and the software agencies to speak together that if you start mandating, then there has to be a control on the cost. But it will take time. There are some indigenous tools available and we can use those. But everybody starts off with a small tool free and then it's a business. So there will be some cost. I think what we need to do is we as a community should go back to our clients and say, you want more benefits, you want faster, you want better, then you have to give us some increase in our cost to accommodate these technologies.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. One question which has come up is that clients expect quantity extraction of all possible elements which is provided in a traditional BOQ. So be it waterproofing, be it formwork, many a times, it is not showed in the drawings at all. Then what are your thoughts on feasibility of modeling everything? Will your model become heavy, or the time required, or whatever? What are your thoughts on the feasibility of it?
So I think in terms of the model being heavy, it is not one model for everything. Say if I take an example of formwork, on top of, if I take again Revit as a tool, there is add-ins. So the moment you select a surface, the formwork is automatically calculated for that surface. It is not a physical model that you build.
Right.
And it is a separate model that gets built. Similarly, quantities, waterproofing. We can model waterproofing in the model. It is again going back to what LOD you're putting into the model. And if quantity is the only reason you're doing waterproofing, then I think we have to play that game of devil's advocate, that how much time I spend doing it, is it worth doing that? Or can I just like paint? Everybody asks us paint quantity. So we typically say, okay, plaster quantity is equal to paint quantity, surface area.
Okay.
So we
That's
have
what
to
I
come
also
around
do.
workarounds have to be put in place.
Okay. So just one question, being a cost consultant, I'm asking this question. So we have got IS 1200, which talks about quantity, deductions, or what are the guidelines for quantification. So is it built in the BIM model, or we have to do it separately for that?
Some of it is built in, but again, you remember the software is not designed for any particular country's code.
Okay.
So it is a very general thing. 90% of it will meet everybody's requirement.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can say that if it's meeting 90%, you just have to put in a 10% effort towards what else you need.
Understood. Understood. So there are a few questions from the landscape architects, Yogini, Raji, and someone in already answered earlier also, and Isha also. So can landscape architectural working drawings and model be done in Revit?
Absolutely. I will actually very quickly show you. Is it okay if I
Yes.
share?
Sure. Yeah, please.
Yeah, sure.
I'll just share one slide. This is for a project that we did. It's just a landscape one. These are public parks in Qatar. You're able to see my screen, right?
No, you have not
Oh,
shared
no?
it. You'll have to share
Okay.
it.
Hold on. Anyway, I don't know what happened here. Share. So these
Yes,
are
we can see your
public
screen. Yeah.
parks that we worked on in Qatar, Doha, and 5 public parks, all landscape. Like I showed that example of the site where it's site and site utilities. So here it was all the utilities which are part of the landscape. They had a walkway which was air conditioned. Qatar can do that. And the entire walkway was covered with solar panels and an intricate jali. And then the drawings were extracted from this. In fact, we went a step further and even did an as-built for them model, which was handed over for maintenance. So even from a landscape perspective, there is a lot of things you can do and using the model.
Okay.
Just to, while we're on that same point, sorry, Amita. But planting and all cannot be put in accurate way, right? You can just show basic patches or.
So we've done projects where we have these podiums and you have to put in planting. So we've put in planter boxes, which are part of the structure. And that landscape, the infra project I shared, the 3 islands, there we put a root bulb in. How much would be the root bulb? We put circles into the model for that because you don't want your services going very close to that.
Throw it in.
So again, this is a workaround you have to do. It depends on to what level you want the data.
So are there any specific plugins for landscaping?
No, there is enough database available within the tools. And then, like I mentioned, you just put in circles and things like that, where it's not I mean, it's only for a use that you're doing it for coordination. So even in a building, when you're doing equipment, we need an access panel to service the equipment. So we put in a box there saying this much space is needed to access and service the equipment. No other service should come in that much area.
Okay. So you block that area basically.
Yes. Yes.
Can I ask this question, please?
Yogi, Isha, who is it? Yogini or Isha?
Yogini.
Yogini.
Yeah, Yogini, please go
Acha,
ahead.
in 2014 version, there's something called as environment which deals with topography. So is it useful? Have you tried it ever?
You know, I'm using 24 right now.
Sorry, 24 only. Sorry, 24. My bad.
Okay.
My bad. Not 14.
No, and then I will come back to you, especially with this answer. I'm not a user, I can talk, but I know topography is if you bring in your survey plan into the Revit model, it automatically generates your topo for you. You don't have to model anything. But your specific question, I will come back to you, Yogini.
Okay, I'll speak to you separately
Yes.
because we are trying to model it. The padding below is giving us a problem. I'll speak to you about this.
Yeah. I think
Swarnalatha
is asking for a long time.
Long time. Yeah.
Yeah, there is one more question, which is, before I go to Swarnalatha, I have seen Swarnalatha's question, but before that, Isha has asked one question, and that is, what is the start point? Who does it start from? Whether it is architects who do it, or PMCs, or there are different consultants. I know there are different consultants, but Sonali, you can talk about it. Yeah.
So it's anybody actually. If nowadays the trend is that consultant like us are not actually building models, most of the developers or contractors, if it's a design build, are asking designers, architects, that we only want a BIM model from you. So then the architects have to start, the structural consultants have to start. But even if it is not being asked by anybody, I think from your process optimization, from your efficiency, you should take the lead and start. It could start, like I said, at concept design also, or it could start a little more later as you sign off on schematic.
I hope that answers Isha's question. So Swarnalatha's question is that...
Can I add a little bit to this, Sonali, please?
Sure.
Amita? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So let's say the architect has started to do the model, and let's say my expertise is not HVAC, plumbing, or electrical. So I give a base, and is it then that the other consultants start adding on to these layers, and then collectively we build this model?
Yes. So if you use a cloud-based platform, as an example, let's look at Autodesk Construction Cloud, ACC. So the model is built on ACC. Architects, structure, MVP, everybody uses that cloud platform to build the model. So it's not like a CAD file that circulates from one end to the other. And whenever the HVAC consultant makes addition to the model, it's immediately visible to the architects and structural consultant. Notification goes out.
Okay. So this is called ACC.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, Swarnalatha is asking, in electrical industry, how it will be helpful.
Yeah, I have actually add-on questions are there actually, and who to start? Who can be the right? Just now, Madam Amita Madam has been told asked about this question, but again, architect and engineer, and as well as or any next generation kid who wants to take it as a profession. So can they only go with the BIM without learning architecture and everything, designing or anything? So and how it will be useful for our industry?
It's like Word. Anybody can use Word. So the different BIM softwares anybody can use. But if you have domain expertise, if you're an architect or an engineer or a designer, then you know how it affects construction, what are the do's and don'ts from an execution perspective. So that knowledge will be better for somebody who wants to make a career in BIM. Just learning a commerce graduate doing BIM, yes, over years of experience, you will get domain expertise, but your growth is limited as compared to having domain expertise. And the other question on the electrical, yes, electrical consultants can start laying out your cable trays through this, start locating your distribution panels through this. Like I showed that HVAC example for facilities. In the same project, for every room, we had a tag saying from which distribution room this coming power is coming, which distribution panel the power is coming. So what gets affected in terms of power outage or servicing for that also can be monitored.
So does this cost effect? It is a cost effective for our industry, or again it is an added weightage, cost weightage on us.
In terms of the modeling and the design part, yes. But if it only stays in the design phase, then your ROI is going to be longer. If now that it's there in design, you take it to execution, you take it to maintenance, then your cost of investment is spread across all the life cycle. Then there is benefit. That's why the entire supply chain, if it adopts, there's a lot of benefit.
And just now you have been discussing about this, that some industry should have a voice to tell about this. And again, Sheetal, as I have been discussing about the MOU with this GCF, Global Construction Fraternity, now they would like to have an appointment of our team so that they can write an MOU with us. So, they have a separate segment for women in construction, and they are writing a newsletters on us as well. So just kindly get connected and
yeah.
Do
So
the
let's connect.
as possible.
Yeah. Next week, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm in for that.
Can I, Swarnalata, can you connect with Sonali separately, because there are a lot many questions which are coming in.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So one question is that very interesting question asked by Archana. Is that the quality of output, any output, is dependent on the quality of input. So how is human error detected and rectified in the software? And so this is the first question. There is another part to it.
Okay.
Please
So typically when you build something and you run a clash detection on it, anything that is error would come as a clash. Say your column and beam are not touching each other, or they are merging too much into each other. Just a drafting mistake, essentially. But that will show up as a clash. When you talk about the flooring, if the flooring is built into the model and where it is supposed, like one flooring changes to another flooring, that line is also not clear. It will detect as a clash. Obviously, if you have a column that is supposed to be 230 by 380, but instead of 380, you made it 375, that error will not get automatically detected. So there are ways to do that. You extract a schedule, you sort it by size, and it will give you all the errors that are there. The moment you extract, you can find out it's a wrong size.
Okay. So
this is like workarounds, okay? These are things we've learned over experience.
But these are good tips. Just in conjunction with this is that if client asks for doing projects in BIM or using BIM or whatever, so what are the additional timelines we should consider when accepting such projects?
There's no additional timeline. Like Archana was saying, it's what data you have. So garbage in, garbage out. If your data is good, you can build much faster because you're saving coordination time. You're saving all your 2D extraction time. So with BIM, it's faster. It's just you're not ready with the data. That's why. If I ask a MEP consultant that at schematic stage, you give me height, they'll say, no, it doesn't come at this stage. Size also is very difficult. They'll do a single line drawing for you. So that is the challenge with data. If we have that, then it's faster. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pick on any MEP consultant here.
No, but anyway, I also don't want to say anything now over here. So there are questions like, Sonali is asking that ELV and IT system, it comes very late in the design process. So does it make sense to go for BIM for these systems?
Yeah, you should not be coming in late. What we always tell all our clients is that everything, if you have it in your project, it should come in when the coordination is happening. Because then when your ELV comes in late, you are just working around what you are given. And your system might not be the most efficient one. So you need to come in along with all the other consultants at the same time. I mean, every client we work with, we tell them not just design, appoint your contractors early. Get them involved when the design is happening. So they'll tell you, nahi, main aisa nahi install kar sakta. I need to do this only. And only
But generally we got
then you'll get
appointed.
it.
Yeah, but generally we got appointed when the building is, if it is 30 floor, there are already 20 floors are there in the place, and we got appointed as a IT consultant. Now there is a need of IT or the security, and then we enter. So it's very difficult, and cost is a major challenge for us because it's very small portion. Like if you say MEP, it's only the 2% of the MEP cost is the IT and ELV part. So incorporating such it's a costly affair for us basically to incorporate Revit or BIM.
What I'll tell you, Sonali, is like
So
even when we started.
I don't know how to go ahead with.
No, so I'll tell you, when we started, people would ask, what BIM? I don't need for 20, 100 years. I'm building BIM, buildings. I don't need, I know how to coordinate. So you have to start educating. Take that 20 story the way it is right now, but educate that client that if they appoint you early for the next one, they will save so much more, not just in the cost, but even the time, and which is a cost. And so if you educate them, the next project they'll appoint you earlier. It will take
I'm
time.
doing it for
The system
last
has to
5 years.
change.
I'm educating for last 5 years.
Yeah, I'm
Still,
doing it 20 years still, and I'm doing it.
I know. So let's hope for the best. Like
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
get appointed along with the architects itself, so that we can actually use all such kind of things and make the project more viable for each and every aspects, basically.
Yes.
Thank you, Sonali. Thanks a lot.
Sonali,
Thanks,
one
everyone.
question is that, quantities what come from the BIM will be concrete quantity. Now you will be talking about M20, M40, M30, or it will be talking about the dia of the pipe or the core of the electrical wire. So how does it get, with reference to the BOQs? So how can those two be married?
So, I mean, I'm not sure I understood the question. When we say
So-
concrete quantity, it comes grade wise. But if you want entire concrete quantity, it will give
grade
you.
wise. So are you saying that even the grades are, if that is provided in the drawings, then it will get mapped accordingly?
Yes. So if we get an input drawing that says that this column is M30 grade concrete, when we build the model, you're putting that grade of concrete in.
Okay.
When you
So
are building a model for pipes, you're modeling the dia of the pipe. You're saying if it's a steel pipe, UVC pipe, iron pipe, whatever material it is.
Okay. Okay.
Even with
So
insulation,
basically
it's
you
paint
have to
insulation. Yeah, everything you have to define. That's what the information is key.
Okay.
And so people who design, if they use this tool, it's going to give them the biggest benefit.
True.
Okay. Yeah. So
You have
there is
all the information.
I agree.
Yeah.
So all information needs to be plugged in, and then you will get automatically everything what you are saying.
Yes.
Priyanka, I hope the question is answered. Excuse.
Yes.
So Bhavna has asked a question: is that when is the right time to start the BIM modeling? Because in India, your concepts change till the last moment. Your schematic also changes many times. So what is the right time to start?
So if you are a designer, start at schematic concept any stage, because any change you do is just going to be faster. Like again, I'm mentioning and repeating it maybe, but the 2D, you don't have to change every time manually because of one change. If you're a consultant like us, we typically like to start work at 50% schematic or 100% schematic, where your areas are frozen. Then your rough framing is there. Sizes may not be there, but you can start building the model there, and then you refine it. There have been instances, GeoWorld is an example, where on site, they had all the basements constructed. Then they decided that when the super VIP guests come in, they want to be seen, but when they leave, they don't want to be seen. So from when they're leaving, they need to directly go to the basement to where their car is going to be there for them. everything is built on site, and then they decide, I want to put an elevator in here. So yes, an elevator got put, but guess what? In the basement, there is a water tank there. So the water tank had to be relocated to a different area. So we've had examples like this, but imagine same example, coordinating everything because the model was already there, was much faster.
So even
The
decision
changes
making
will happening,
happens
yeah.
faster. Yeah,
Yes,
even decision, it
absolutely.
must be easy for decision making in that.
Yes.
So Nalini, I didn't understand your question. I'm just reading it out. We are using Revit for calculations of area statements for form work. What is the best that BIM can offer for area calculations of form?
Yeah. So, this BIM again is a software, as I've been listening to all the discussion. So can it be used in a much better way, or is it better than Revit for calculating the area of formwork that will be needed for any project?
No. So Revit is the software and
Correct.
BIM is the process.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah. So Revit is just one, but there are multiple other softwares also available.
Okay.
So I think every software builds certain different ways of calculating it. And I'm not very clued into any formwork specific software. I know the Revit
Okay.
plugin that is there for formwork.
Uh-huh.
And so, I mean,
So
if there's
can BIM be
something very
any
specific, even
way?
I can talk separately.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let's connect separately.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I
better.
mean,
Yeah.
let me also get somebody who from my office who can answer this for you much more
Sure.
than I can.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Sonali. Thank you.
I take one last question now, and that question is that, is there any plugin that can be used for checking statutory bylaws or fire and NBC norms?
So not in India, for not India's bylaws, but there is a software called as Solibri, in which you can set the bylaws that you need and programmatically no, but it has fields that lets you set it. And then that software, you import your model in and it will check for bylaws. Solibri is called code checker. It has some countries' codes already programmed into it. And then you have the ability to program what you need for India into it.
Okay, interesting. So if I have missed any questions, I'm sorry for that. You can reach out to Sonali and connect with her for those queries. Over to you, Raji. And thank you, Sonali, so much for this interesting
Welcome.
session.
I just wanted to add to that. Sonali, I think there's nothing wrong in Amita calling you the BIM lady of India. I think the vast amount of knowledge that you have on this software and the way you have put it for us in a very simple language makes it absolutely fantastic for us to also understand that this is not scary. I mean, I used to be pretty scared of this subject. And I think I've kind of realized that I should start going to the other side of the town now and put my leg on the other side and give it a shot and start integrating it.
Yeah.
And I personally feel, other than this, as a person also, you've always been very helpful. You passionately believe in BIM and you passionately want people to adopt this, and it comes across when you talk to us and you talk to anybody as well. So that is absolutely kudos and well done. Thanks a ton for giving your time to taking us through this as well, and really appreciative of your time. And I guess all of us, many people are putting in the chat as well that the way you explained mattered a lot today. You made it very simple for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
And with that, we will just go ahead and finish wrap up for today with a few other slides we have on membership. And if you can just, Vinita, go to the next slide. So some of the benefits of becoming a member for new members who have joined today are these. Like, we are, of course, a support network. We have, as you can see, we've got very brilliant, intelligent, powerful women also in our group. And we all are, of course, one. So good networking opportunities. We are able to at least give you maybe some free or discounted access also to certain wide range of events that we liaison with our MOU partners. And of course, you can get access to the recorded sessions. You can be published in the newsletters, which are then sent out to many of our other co-collaborators as well. you can also be part of the mentorship scheme. We would love to have you as a mentor. And in case you want to be a mentee, so for it, I mean, go for it as well. And we feel there is a lot of business growth and opportunities through networking. So again, I wouldn't say this is a platform you join, you're going to get business. No, business doesn't just come drop on your lap. You have to make it happen. So use this platform to network, get to know each other, practice on us if you want, and go for the projects that you are aiming for. For the next one, please, Vinita. So you can scan this QR code and become a member. And and then of course, as I've mentioned, it's a very easy process. You can do GPay. There are many ways. Once you scan, it'll lead you to that. And for the last one, Vinita, if you go to the next one. Yeah, we always say, if you keep learning, please keep learning and stay connected, because, learning is like a treasure. It will follow where it kind of goes with you. But I have one more announcement to make and one more video to share that has been given by Shivaranjani. So allow me to please share screens, Vinita. Or if you can, that's fine. Others, I'll share my screen as well. You want me to share? Okay, cool. Just a minute. I'll just add the, when share screens, I need to add the volume button. Otherwise, you guys will kill me. Just a minute. Where did you go? Share screen, share sound. Okay, I'm there. Share. So this is the video. So this is going to be on 27th of this month. So girls, we will update you on how we are planning to do it.
So let Shivaranjani do the announcement for that. Shivaranjani, over to you for this. Yeah.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, there's a technical glitch. I couldn't play the video. I mean, you cannot see me right now. So, as you know, like microgreens are the bundle of micronutrients. In fact, we require them a lot in our daily lives. And because being a woman, a powerhouse in the house, in our homes itself, so we have to plan ourselves as per our family as well. So this workshop is mainly growing about the microgreens, and we will share you short videos also how to grow and different kinds of programs also to according to that. Yeah, so starting from today, we'll be sharing you the videos in that, and the 27th, that means it will take minimum of 2 weeks for us to grow, for us to harvest it. So 2 weeks will be a fair enough time for us to harvest it. So by 27th, we'll conclude on that, and then we can showcase our own microgreens, all of us.
Excellent. So I personally request all of y'all to please listen, check out the videos and try out the microgreens. They're absolutely easy to grow, and you can't give excuse that I kill plants, so I'll kill this. It won't happen. It is absolutely easy. You just need water and some seeds, and that's about it. So please try it. And also we will designate somebody to give us recipes. Once we get the microgreens, yes. And what do we make out of them?
We can eat them as it is, Raji. But yes, of course, we can use them in salads, and also like, like we use coriander, dhania in the last of the curries and all. We can put like that also in the curries. So it is extremely nutritious. And surprisingly, microgreens doesn't really require the soil and all. We can just grow them on the tissue paper with some trace of water. That's all. We will share you the videos.
Thanks a ton, Shivaranjani, for this awesome video as well. And I think the initiative you, Madhulika, and all of y'all are taking is also excellent. Well done. And with this, we will wrap up the day today. And
just one thing, Raji. Sorry, 1 minute. So Sheetal has shared the link of our newsletter, which is out now. So it's in the chat box. You can definitely check it out. Yeah, over to you, Raji. Sorry for interrupting.
No worries. So guys,
you'll
have a lot of
me
things
from
to digest.
Spotlight also, Raji. I'm feeling embarrassed.
I don't know if I can do that, but let me see. I think somebody else has to do that. But what we wanted to, while we wind up, just wanted to kind of summarize a little bit. So today, guys, for the microgreens, we'll start sending all the videos. Please get all your stuff ready. Let us start growing the microgreens from today, so that in 2 weeks from now, we can showcase our microgreens and you can give us feedback how it has turned out. And of course, the recipes will also follow. And if we are around next to each other, please share the food also that you all make. And thank you so much, Sonali, for the wonderful